launch start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. Brilliant. He's going to give out to me. Hang on. I need to fix this immediately. Hang on now. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. How do I fix this? Wait now. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. I need to fix something. No, hang on. I've broken something. Jesus. Oh, there's things happening. I'll explain now in a second. I kicked Muse Fan and it broke his mod powers. That's hilarious. Yeah, well, served him right. I hope you're all keeping well. I need to fix that. He's going to go nuts. Hang on. Don't worry, Muse. You're timed out with a minute, but they do it's grand. We'll fix it. Wait now. I need to. Oh, Jesus, look. Yeah, I did a terrible job on him, look. Hang on there now. Give him time him out as well. This is too funny. Hang on. Muse Fan. Muse feckin' Fan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will it find him? No results found. Oh, Jesus. Muse, are you like not here anymore? Hang on. Muse Fan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on, we'll find you, Muse. Jesus. Right, you're back in, I think. Save. Unfortunately, some of the roles could not be added. Oh, Jesus. Yara, listen. We'll get back to that there now in a minute, so we will. Try Tool Fan. Tool Fan 1, 2, 3. Oh, there he is. Look, hang on. What turn? Why won't I find him? Oh, jeez, I won't find him now. Oh, be gob. Hang on, I better refresh this. I think we've actually. Muse, have we deleted you from the internet? Gibbo, I think we proper broke it. Hang on, lads. It's all very important tonight. Muse Fan 1, 2. Oh, there he is. Right. Save. I'll save that. Warning. Some of the specified roles were unable to be added. Oh, for Christ's sake. How do we fix this? You're all very welcome in. We're going flying tonight, friends. Taking the B200. Yes, a King Air. And we're departing out of Marshall. Something. No, we're not. We're departing out of Stennis. I got it wrong in the flight plan, but don't worry. Listen. It's all professional and it's supposed to look very, high quality and all. It's only me. Sure, you know what the crack is, right? I really need to fix this. Oh, Gibbo, good man. He removed the timeout. Right, let's see if I can add him back this way. Jesus. Hang on. Jeez. I won't find him now, look. Balls. Hang on, we'll fix it. Don't you worry. You're so brave slagging me when I'm on timeout. Did we get you back in action yet, Muse? No, hang on there now. Muse put up one of the funniest posts I've seen in ages. Father Fabio. It was brilliant. Right, Muse fan. Now, can I make him one of those? Save. Yes! Success! There now, Muse. You're back in the saddle. Happy as the day you were born. No damage. It's all grand. You're very welcome back. Now, while we're on the subject of Muse fan and his blatant assault, right, character assault, so it was. Jesus, that was hilarious. To be fair, only that Gibbo helped me. Muse, you'd have been left outside in the dark. That's too funny, though. But anyway, yes, all sorts of slagging going on today. It's great to see everyone. Happy Monday, if there is such a thing. It's currently, it's 13 degrees here in Tipperary. And, well, tonight, yes, we learn all about the engineering as we follow on from Earth to the Moon. And all about the machines that were going to be designed and constructed on how to get the lads into space. That's what we're learning tonight. And we're flying between, well, two very important airports, and there's a naval air station along the way. So it's from Alabama down to Mississippi. And yes, it's going to be a nice flight. We're also taking this, the Coronado B200, based on a King Air 200. Beautiful, beautiful machine. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So looking forward to flying this one this evening, you see. But apart from that, lads, it's been absolutely mad. Right now, he was once a lead moderator. Wait, what? Is there such a thing? Hang on. I learned this stuff. You don't have to. Let's have a look here now. Community. Yes, yes. See, I can find the things. No, it's just the one, I think. Oh, no, hang on. He totally shagged it. Hang on, you devil. We'll put you in. There now, look, you're in. Wait now. Can Gibbo not have that? Why didn't Gibbo have that? Wait now. Lead. Are you sure you... Yes. Brilliant. It's all been updated. Look. It's all fixed. I'm operating here, lads, on a level of excellence you've never seen. No, he does have it. Listen, I didn't know. Who else has it or doesn't have it? No, that's it. That's it. We're okay now. We're all right now, lads. There's no... That's a new role. But anyway, yes. Buttons were pressed. Lives were nearly lost, but we're okay now, lads. So we are. That's very strange. How do we ban Murph? Shag off. There's no banning me. Oh. Sorry to tell you, but you're at the arrival airport, Murph. I most certainly am. What? No, I changed it around. We're departing here out of Stennis. That's where we're departing from, I think. And then we're heading down to Huntsville. I believe that is the place. A refresh sorted it. Yeah, he'd ban himself before. I'd have banned myself, I'd say. Yeah. Jesus, I can't be pressing buttons, lads. It doesn't work. But anyway, what a day I've had. What a couple of days I've had. I've been flat out. And, well, today started off with a service for the Skoda. Yes, that's right. Iona. She went off and got a service today and changed the oil filter, the air filter, the fuel filter. They stuck on a new alternator belt. 'Tis no longer making these weird squeaking noises. Brilliant. And yeah, absolutely, she's flying it. So that was that job. Also, I got what I thought was my delivery. I ordered 4 terabyte hard drives from NAS, right? And well, I got a delivery today and there was only one. It was a pack of 4, but there was only one single one in it. Anyway, I applied Karen mode and seemingly they said they're going to give me a full refund. Yeah, and I get to keep the one drive, which is grand in some regards, but I don't have my drives. So I have to get more of those, do you know? But anyway, Gibbo, shag off. Right, I didn't. The mechanic did. Yes, the mechanic. And it was all grand. And he was well impressed with my mileage. He said, a lot of miles in this car. It drives so well. I know. I've taken great care of it. Like myself, you know. But anyway, we're flying tonight with Groupie. And if you want to jump on, it's with Same Intentions. Do be sure to ramble over. You can click on the link that's on our Discord. And yes, I've updated our flight plan because I got it completely wrong. But anyway, it's all grand, lads. So it is. It's all grand now. We can all relax. We'll start the week together. Busy couple of weeks coming ahead. And well, this week, So tomorrow night, we're flying an airliner because I missed it last week. Wednesday, we've the news. Evan is joining us. Thursday, we have a double header. But Thursday night, I'm unsure will I be back in time. I may not be. I'll have to wait and see. Because the young fella, the graduation from transition year, and, well, we have to be there to shake hands and all this kind of stuff. Tea and biscuits. And then Friday night, we're back with another stream. You see, it's all go. It's flat out. So I'm trying to think. Other things and stuff I've been doing as well. I've been very busy, but alas, it's all grand. We're here now together and we get to go flying, which is great. So, how's everyone getting on with the sim? Since our group flight Friday night, it was absolutely shocking with the frames, but I think that was just down to the old servers acting up, right? So hopefully everything will run a little bit better now tonight. We'll have to see, but I'm hopeful that it will. We're going to be live we are live on the Southeast Asian server. Live time of day, live weather as well. And yeah, we'll play this one by here and see what happens, you see. But who's here, look? Alberto, good evening. CP is in the house. Vacuum, good evening. Spitfire, RF 100 is here in the chat. Good evening to you. Super Typhon, sup? Hope you're well, bud. Tarnish Mossman is here. Chocks, a very good evening. Filthy, good to see you, buddy. YOLO is here. Viper Strike, you're very welcome in. The Boise, tier 1 for 4 months. Cheers, buddy. You're very kind. Hermit something, very good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well, Hermit. 98 Vulcan, welcome aboard. Bellbro is here. Liptorius, welcome in. Shuffle Shoes, shuffles in. Edge H. John, hope you're well. Ryan is in the house. The Impossible Face, good evening. Sir Campsalot, my dude. Happy Monday, man. APU Inspector is here. Weekend will be back. It will. It absolutely will. North Coast Mike, good evening. Creo, hope all is well in County Mayo. You're very welcome aboard. Uniform Goose, good evening, buddy. Hope all is well. Malky Mac. Malky, very good to see you, bud. Now, the internet is stuttering, says the Impossible Face. Norse Viking, welcome aboard. Sumner is here. Hope all is well in Florida. Mac Vision, good evening. Chris Van Halen is here. Nighthawk, a very happy Monday. We have spring sunshine and winter temperatures in Ontario. Jesus. Sunjammer, welcome. Mech Mansers in the house. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. And Wolfie, welcome in, bud. Doc Nader's here. Memphis Ton is in the house. Heisenberg, he says, good evening. Did everyone catch Murph's video on that new panel? I wonder what he was pondering in that photo. Right. Seemingly that was a very short video that MuseFan took grave offence. Grave offence. Brilliant. But yes, the mind boggles indeed. Toto, 24.95. Good evening, Toto and Mrs. Toto. Hope you're both keeping well. You had a lovely weekend and you're ready for another week. Yes. Proby Pete, good afternoon. A warm 106 degrees Fahrenheit in Arizona. Arizona, 106 degrees though. Jesus. It's getting warmer in here. 106. What's that in old money, lads? 106. That's up in the high 30s, is it? Yikes. Bellbro, hope you're well, buddy. Yeah, I fixed the flight plan because, well, I'm in Egypt. But I fixed it now. All is well. Angry B, good evening. Hope you're well. Commander Balosh is here. Happy Monday. Idle Cutoff. Hi, Merch. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Currently 13 degrees. It's to be 15 degrees tomorrow, look. Just I won't say no to that. 15 degrees now, lads. And I got the steps in today. Nearly 10,000. Right, I was out for a ramble. But yes, Febro, good evening. Crackers in the house. Mr. TPHI. A very good day to you, sir. Hope you had a great day at work. Lenny Bobbins is here. Lenny, happy birthday. You never told us. Jesus. You're looking well. Now, is it just me or is Twitch lagging? I've no idea. Jesus. 3 messages were deleted by a moderator. Sorry, Muse. Terribly sorry. Murphy, wait. TwoToneMurphy timed out Muse fan. Sorry, Muse. Not sorry. Wicked Lumberjacks is here. Good evening. Hope you're well. Now, let me see. We're catching up here now with the rate of knots. Energizer is here. He's on the shagging list as well. You know, good to see you. Photos by Kev. He's home. Welcome home, Kev. Hope you had a good time. And the place hasn't been the same without you. Welcome in. Sheer excellence, indeed. Serves him right? Then look, it says Gibbo timed him out for 600 seconds. Brilliant. I added to it. I said 60 seconds. Gibbo went 600 seconds. Jeez, that was harsh now. Gibbo, good to see you, bud. Happy Monday, man. Right, we're over here, look. Give him his L plates back, right? We're Tri-Tool fan. Tough crowd tonight, yeah. Strap, good evening. Hope you're well. Who else came in? Wait now. I didn't. Oh, wait, I did nothing, says Gibbo. Right. Moose fan. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Surly Dev stays quiet, fearing the wrath of Murph. It's quite okay, Surly Dev. Right, we're over here. You're so brave slagging me when I'm on timeout. At least I know what to do now the next time. What was that, Muse? Right. Brilliant. Right, such an abuse of power. With great power comes great shenanigans. Never forget that. He was once the lead mod. Yeah, we fixed that now. Expensive Monday. I went looking for a new broadband provider and ended up buying me better half a new car. Jesus, Kev, can I go shopping with you too? He made a right. He did. He made a complete and utter out of him now. I did. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Kev, can we go shopping with you? Right, how do we ban Murph? Shag off. Prime is here. Good day to you. Where's this now? We're catching up, look. Gibbo doesn't have it either. No, he does. Scott's not got it either. He does. Stu Snape is here. Stu, it's good to see you. Murph, I finally finished it 1,000 years later. Oh, come on, you watched the video, did you? 145 streams in a row. Thank you, Stu. Yeah, great bunch of gas altogether. Yeah. Yeah, Murph, your video was very short. And then MuseFan put up the funniest thing. It's like, I hear Father Fabio does a good long video. 17 hours. Great value for money. Brilliant. Father Fabio. But anyway, where's this now? What's the first landing airport? We're going to land at Kilo November Mike. Yes, that's our first one. RJ Ramjet, good evening. Yeah, we got it all kind of fixed up there now. He'd ban himself, I'm telling you. Home Wrecker, I'm telling you. Good to see you. Jefferson is here. The man, myth and legend himself. What news of the realm? He says, good evening, Murph and Fireflies. Happy Monday. Fun fact of the day. There's a condition in which your body can brew alcohol. Huh? Auto-brewery syndrome is a very rare condition which occurs when certain bacteria and yeasts in the gut break down carbohydrates into ethanol. Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to do that? Because, Jesus... No update, flight plan's the same. You're at KHSV. Yes, we're starting at Stennis and we're working our way down the road. Yes? Your new flight plan goes the wrong direction. No. We're starting in Alabama and we're working our way down to Mississippi. Isn't that right? Did I say something completely wrong on me stream? Title thingy. Hang on. Wait now. Tonight, between Marshall and Stennis. Yeah, we're just doing it the other way around, though. I mean, technically, we're flying between Marshall and Stennis. We're just starting off at Stennis. Last time I looked, Huntsville is in Alabama. Wait, what? Where am I? So the bot is wrong. You're all at Huntsville. What are you doing in Huntsville? We're not going there till later on. Oh, no!
Jesus.
Right. Let's not get bogged down with what airport we're supposed to be at. I mean, we're not in Aviate. Well, we are, actually. Hang on. This is terribly important. Right, lads. We're starting off at Kilo Hotel Sierra Alpha. Stennis. If you watched Game of Thrones, well, that was Stennis. It was Stennis, right? Come on up the road. It's great crack. Yeah. Look, sure, come on. Well, then you're at the wrong airport. Listen. Don't think this has ever happened before in the 6 years I'm doing this. I started at the wrong airport. Well, technically I didn't. This is the way I wanted to go all along. I wanted to fly from the north to the south. I just typed it up completely wrong. Right, lads, to make it abundantly clear, we're starting at KHSA. Stennis. That is where we are starting. So if you're not there, come up the road and that's where we are. It was the greatest decoy in the history of decoys. He's probably in the wrong sim too. Yeah. Where are we starting, Murph?
Can I get a refund?
Oh, Jesus. Right, lads, it's like this, right? Kilo Hotel Sierra Alpha. That's where we're starting from. I'll type it in the chat. I can't do it at everyone. How did I get this wrong? Start.
Studies, you know,
shut up. Starting point.
Of the time, it works.
Starting point. KHSA. Now, I'll put...
We're going the wrong way.
Listen, it's going to be fine. Trust me, I know. Unlike the real world, we can...
Big eases.
Can I get a word in? Just like the real world, you... No, balls! Unlike the real world, you can click a button. Yes, and the button will move you from one place to the next.
Oh, Jesus.
This got out of hand very quick. It all started off with Muse fan Nook. Jesus. Right, anyway, listen, what's important now, lads, is... Dougal McTavish is here. That's good to see you, Dougal. Happy Monday. Don't mind the rest of the lads. They're all... They're wild. Right. Now, where's this now? Chalk says to Gibbo that a Bremen t-shirt arrived today. Ooh, very nice, very nice. You are a man dressed in the latest fashions. Indeed. Tim Al is here. Good to see you. Olsen's in the house. Carlos, good evening. Mrs. TPHI. I'm not at home. The virtual skies are safe. She's upside down. This wouldn't have happened if you were at home, Mrs. TPHI. Look what happens. It started off because you were too busy banning me and concentrating on your actual job. You did... Rob MCR, thank you very much indeed, subscribing for 63 months. The man is a legend, I've always said it. Now let me see, is it Michaela? Welcome in. Good evening. Jesus. Sprockets is here, good evening. Crotty, 85 in a row. Thank you very much indeed. Jalagod is here, good to see you. Right, Cornwall, thank you very much indeed for 36 months. Thank you, sir. Sunjammer, Murphy, want any information on the computer used in the Saturn rocket and how the last 10 minutes are done? Wait, what? Just Roy is here, just in time. Yes, we've just started. Not at the wrong airport. Everything's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. It's good to see you, Roy. Texas One Flyboy. Dude, 48 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Yeah. Jesus. Wombat's here as well. Good to see you, Wombat. Don't mind them now. They're all a bit kind of mad tonight, right? Telling us that we're at the wrong airport and everything. Jesus. It's good to see you. I'm Pierce is here. Welcome aboard. Eddie is here. Happy Monday. You can, but the wallet is temporarily closed. Good man, Kev. Jesus. Your new flight plan goes, it's grand. You're at Huntsville. Yeah. Last time I looked, it was in Alabama. We're all at Huntsville. So it's Huntsville to Stennis. No, we're at Stennis. We're at Stennis International Bay, St. Louis in the United States. That's what it says there. Right. We're all here, says Tarnish. Probably in the wrong sim too. Follow me, don't follow me. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Are you going to start here? Yes. Wait now. Can I one and then... Oh, one of them and one of them. Yeah. No, you can have two of them and one of them. Are we using P3D? Jesus. You can see me from here, Prime. Jesus. Dennis C. Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Beautiful t-shirt. Designed by FlightSimTees.com. Do check them out for the latest fashions and beautiful things. Alpha Watt now says, I've had enough of Asobo fixing things that aren't broken. You can't remove half of the walk-around items in VR anymore because you have to get in within 6 inches of them. Now, see? You're at KHSV. Wait, hang on. What? Ha! Shit.
Oh, Jesus.
No, Jesus, that didn't fix it. Hang on. Listen, right, we're on the ground here at Kilo Hotel, Sierra Victor. We are on the ground located at Huntsville. We're in Huntsville. That's where we're starting off tonight, friends. And it's been a busy weekend. So great to see everybody. I've been flat out today. Jesus, the whole thing is shagged. Right, hang on. Does the bot even know what it's shagging doing? Wait, I'll fix that as well. Don't panic. I'll fix all of this. Wait now. I know it's not connected or nothing. Jesus. Right, hang on. Yes. Connect. Authorize. I authorize you. Right, we're in. Now, hang on. What does the shagging bot say? The shagging bot is right. Who did this flight plan? Wait now. Yes. Shh. Hang on now. Just. Quished. Cut that. Cut it out. Cut it out. Now, put that in there now. I know I've pressed copy instead of paste. All me shortcuts. Jeez. KHSA. Now, right, grand. Copy that. Accept that. Save. Now, hang on. Hoppy Janie then. Wait now, lads. Wait now.
Come on. You're going a bit mad there.
Now. Right, lads. Exclamation point route. We are starting at Kilo Hotel Sierra Victor from the north to the south. That's what we're doing.
Jesus.
I'm doing it on my own. That's it. I'm going home. It's the end credits you need, Murph, not the intro. Jesus. Listen, you think you've had a bad day? Oh, Mondays are so stressful and stuff. Look, you see nothing yet. I started off in great form and now look at me. Questioning my life choices. How did all this happen? Are those my feet? Wait now, look. Jesus, I forgot to eat my lunch. This is it. Right. Anyway, where was I? It was over here, look. Yeah, all is grand. Yeah, we're all grand now. Yeah, Flying Tritz, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, great, bro. You're looking well. Looking very well. Adam Controls is here. Good man, Adam. I was flat out today, lads. Flat out. Give up, will you shag off? I was. 23-second video. Tomorrow's stream is cancelled due to upcoming migraine. Right? If they're in the Crocs, yes, they're your feet. Right, grand. The important thing is now, lads, we've gotten everything under control. Yeah. Jake Mitchell, good evening. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Coolby is here. Black Sheep Gene, thank you very much. Jesus, I love scaring the bejesus out of you. Thank you very much indeed, Gene. You're very kind. Joseph Jolly is here. Gial Pilot, welcome in. Captain Sticky Rice, good evening. Dennis C, welcome aboard. I'm hoping there will be, Dennis, yeah. Mr. Anderson, welcome in. Billy B. We do! Exclamation point Discord. Nate is here, good to see you. Mart is here, good to see you. Flyboy Dyer, welcome aboard. Shame on you. You wouldn't allow me to scare you today. I don't know what happened. Now, let me see. Mav Wings is in the house. Angels15 is here. JP Gaming, good to see you. Mr. Anderson, English. I nearly got there. Mr. Anderson himself. This is the best episode I've ever seen, and we haven't even started. Listen, don't be encouraging this crack now. But thank you very much. Kevin Riley, good to see you. Hate missing your flight through my neighbourhood. Chase plane is still broken. Oh, is it? What's Chase plane doing? Jesus. Flying Winnebago is here. Can Murph do anything right first time? Yeah, good to see you, Eamon. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Yeah, I hope you're well. You know, how was your weekend? Jesus. Right, now, Zybok Doc is in the house. Good to see you. Murph, deep breaths and count to 10. Yeah, this is what happens when Murph doesn't drink for a bit. Listen. Hang on, look, I'll fix all this now. Look. Now, come on over here and I'm going to explain to you now, lads, exactly what's happening. We are on the ground here. Yes, that's right. At a place called fucking Huntsville
Jesus.
International Airport, Kilo Hotel Sierra Victor. That is where we are. From there, we're going to fly, well, out over the thing, but then we're going to go down to here, look, to the Naval Air Station at Meridian. Yes, Meridian. That's the halfway point. And if anyone says they're lost, right? And then finally, we continue south, down the way, until we get to Stennis Kilo Hotel Sierra Alpha. Right. Black Sheep Gene, thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. We're starting. Boise, the banhammer's coming out for you as well. Jesus. I don't have the B200 and PTD, or P3. PTT. I'll use the space shuttle. Yeah. We are somewhere flying to somewhere. Yes, he meant Stennis Baratheon Airport. Yes. Stu and Muse fan shag off. We broke Murph. You did. You completely broke me. The whole thing, lads. I'm going to sit down now and play solitaire for the evening. I am in no state, mentally or physically, to get this show on the road. Right. But anyway, won't stop us from trying, will it? So here is our chariot for tonight. I'm hoping the second thing wants to fly. It is that of the Coronado B200. This was released a couple of weeks ago. Jeez, the weather is very murky here. We should have started down the south. Anyway, it's very nice. Yes, very pretty. And this is our chariot, as I say, for this evening. So it's based on a Beechcraft. It's a King Air 200. Most notably the B200. And I'm getting, like, stutter issues. But we'll see what happens. Who's that parked, like, right in front of me? Now, the takeaway from tonight is always double check Murph's flight plans and still question him even if he's right. Yes, yes. One Fly Air, good to see you. The flying reporter from the UK, always on YouTube, says he's flying his Piper
Moose
across the
420
Atlantic.
has just joined the group, hot off the press.
Hot off the press. He's flying to Oshkosh. No way. That's awesome. Do you think we can make Murphy rage quit? Nah, I'm far too stubborn for that. I mean, you can try, you know. I reckon the scenery is more beautiful when flying from the south. Ah, Jesus, there's no refunds, right? It's me. Model matching is bang on tonight. Yeah, but me frame rates aren't. Anyone else getting friggin' frame rate friggin' issues?
Hello, Alge. Pete Piper has just joined the group.
Now, let's see what happens here. Oh no, it seems to be recovering. Kind of, sort of. We'll see what happens. What are the Jesus? Can we not just have a normal night where it's all calm and there's no messing and people are getting on?
Jesus.
Anyway, things are happening. Right. I need to close the door on this. How do we do that now? Wait, now. Will that close the door? It does look. Ooh. Well, that's... Oh, Jesus, now. Oh, Jesus. Who brought the A350? I mean, honest to goodness. Who brought that? Am I using high fidelity model matching? Let's go into our settings real quick and not have a repeat of what happened last week.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Ah, Jesus. Right, hang on now. Cancel that. Zybok! High fidelity. Yeah, everything's on high fidelity. Okay. So is there someone legit in an A350? Who is it, lads? Own up to it. Who's in the 350? Anyway, we all got on and we all bonded over ripping it out of you, Murph. That's what it is. We all have a wonderful thing in common. We all slag me. Right. Anyway, let's get ourselves up and running here. So the flight plan is now correct. Kilo Hotel Sierra Victor. And then we're going to fly out over that place, which is the Redstone facility, right? Home wrecker, no. Shag off. Right, what are we doing? Oh yeah, we're doing one of these. So, quick check here in our machine. We're going to go to the battery. That was the sound of a battery. Go get some booster pumps. Get our prop mixture, or prop full, fuel idle cut off. That's all grand. We also want to get our engine anti-ice. They act as our inertial separators. Nav, Rico, and tail light on. Get our beacon light on here as well. We will be starting that. We don't have the little oxygen gadget, so there's no oxygen on this flight. We don't need it. Quick check up here. Lights. Very dark, isn't it? And once we gain a bit of altitude, it'll get very nice. Do you know? Yes. Now you are threshing. Right, we have our 750 loaded in. Perfecto. Right, booster pumps are boosting. Ignition is set to arm. Right hand side coming up. And let's see what happens. There's no stutters at KHSA. Right. Turbine, 20%. Fuel in. They still haven't fixed the old ITT problem.
For traffic, November 833 Echo Foxtrot. Passing runway 36 right via Echo.
Okay, good start on the right side. Go for start on the left. Does this window autos? Ooh. Okay, turbine rate for about 20%. Fuel it. There's good sound here. Right, she's all coming together now, lads. Generator. Oh yeah, she's sounding good. Inverter we can't do. Avionics we can do. And we'll turn on our little screens here. Rudder boost we can't turn on, so we'll wing it. Murph, the cutest thing, Jessica just sat on my knee and waved at you. Ah, bless her little cotton socks. 42 minutes into the stream and we're already right at the airport. I'm telling you. KHSV has some really good scenery add-ons. Does it? Ooh. Okay, what's it telling me here now? We're running alright, systems are okay. Flight plan. Now lads, if I haven't made this abundantly clear, we're starting off here at Huntsville. Our first stop of the night, well no, our destination. Kilo Hotel Sierra Alpha. Stennis. And we're going to stop along the way at Kilo November Mike, which is Meridian Naval Air Station. Yes. Right, go back one, get in one. CDI is set to the GPS. And now we're looking absolutely fine, so we are. Go ahead, turn that on. That looks good. What else do we want down here? The bleed system. That's looking grand. That's looking grand. Aft blower, no. Bleed air, they're already open. That's fine. Cabin air, don't worry about that for the moment. Strobes, taxi, prop sync, we'll worry about that after takeoff. Anti-ice can stay on, and our pumps stay on. Right, lads, I think now we're at a position where things are looking all right. We're going to do a UE. We're going to take off behind us, runway 18 left. Off the brakes. Up to the right. Ah, sure, look at this, isn't it only brilliant? Meanwhile, half the second squadron is below in that other place. But, listen. It's all grand. You know. It's all grand. That's an unusual camera view. Why did I set that one up there? That's good, though. Hey, Crafty, good to see you, bud. Crafty, you missed nothing, by the way. Probably one of the most smoothest live stream starts I've ever had. Flaps. Not your flaps. Where am I? Huntsville traffic. Firefly 235 lining up runway 18 left for departure to the south. Huntsville. Right. Lights. Camera. Soon to be action. Are we ready, sports fans? There's a TBM look. Ooh, with a stutter. I love that I'm sat in a hotel, not even flying, but I can still... Really? I picked up that GFX at the weekend, Murph. 'Tis only lovely. Command stew. Brilliant. It is actually quite good. I like it, man. It's one of those things. It was like SimFX from Parallel 42. When you have it installed and you run it, you kind of miss it.
Runway 18 left remaining. 9,200 feet.
9,200 feet remaining, lads. This is absolutely deadly. Right, we're going to take off and we need to head to the west. No, we don't. We need to head to the... Mother of God. We need to head east. The east. Right? Are we ready? Right. Brilliant. Power coming in. Let's go flying. Watch the torque. Autofitter should kick in. Take a power set. Airspeed alive. And let's see what the stutters stutter with. We could be lucky. Alright, 80 knots. 90 knots, we're getting light. 100, yepsy daisy. Easy now, Jemima. Yes! Gear up. 130 knots. Easy now. Easy. We're looking good. He's off the RPM. Flaps in. Left turn.
Just a heads up, Smotsy just joined the group.
Man yourself. She's very loud or something, is she? Right, we're doing a thing and it seems to be working. Oh, who's... right, now, right. We need to fly over the place to have a look at it. But while we're doing this, friends, if you're currently flying along with us in this high-value production, more professional stream, if you're on the PC or balls! No! Everything's shagged! If you're on the... You know the numbers! I can't be dealing with this anymore. I need to retire. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream Monday to Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. In the realm. So we're actually flying over exactly where we wanted to be, right? So we're going to learn about this because this beneath us, lads, would you believe it, is a space center, right? So our episode 3 it's covering the engineering with the whole story up until now. I mean, week 1 we were focusing on rockets, where they came from the V2 projects in the Second World War, all the way up to kind of, these rockets that we're going to be learning a little bit about tonight. Then we kind of progressed through. We learned about the impact and the training requirements, what makes an astronaut, and we covered that last week. So tonight, this is very much on the engineering. So what we have, the NASA's George C. Marshall Space Flight Center and also the John C. Stennis Space Center were the engineering powerhouses of the Apollo era, and both continue to underpin today's Artemis program. The Marshall Space Flight Center, where giant rockets were designed, it sits on the grounds of Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. It was established on the 1st of July 1960 and quickly became NASA's propulsion center. Werner von Braun, the former V2 chief designer, was its first director and assembled a team of young American engineers from throughout the South, along with about 100 German expats. Muse, you're terribly kind. Thank you very much indeed. Muse fan gifting 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community. Lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub with thanks to Muse fan, do be sure to say thank you. He's good old gas. Don't know why you bother. Thank you very much indeed, Muse. But 100 German expatriates as well. And under von Braun's leadership, the centre developed the Mercury Redstone rocket that carried Alan Shepard on the first American suborbital flight, and then the family of Saturn launch vehicles. Marshall's workforce grew into a powerhouse. The centre's fact sheet notes that Marshall now employs nearly 7,000 civil service and contractor employees and manages an annual budget of about $4 billion. Its responsibilities span propulsion systems, space habitats, planetary landers, and cutting-edge science and technology. During the 1960s, Marshall engineers designed and tested the Saturn V rocket, the huge F1 engines, and the stages. Jesus, there's more buttons! Just right! You're very kind! I definitely don't deserve it. Roy, thank you very much indeed with 10 gifted tier 1 subs. Lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to just Roy, do be sure to say thank you. Insane support. Thank you very much. I don't know why. Jesus Murph was particularly bad last night. Right, that's where we're at this evening, lads. Brilliant. Roy, thank you very much indeed. Where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, they designed and tested the Saturn V rockets, the F1 engines and stages. 5 F1 engines per first stage, each producing 1.5 million pounds of thrust. The centre's test stands shook the surrounding countryside when these engines roared into life. But the result was a rocket capable of lofting 118 tons into orbit and sending the Apollo spacecraft towards the moon. Marshall also designed the lunar rover for the Apollo missions and later led the development of the Skylab, Hubble Space Telescope instruments, and even hardware for the Space Shuttle. This facility remains vital to this day. It manages the Space Launch Systems, or SLS rockets, that will carry Artemis crews. The centre is responsible for the design, development, testing and manufacturing of the Space Launch System and leads NASA's Human Landing System and Gateway programs. It also runs the Huntsville Operations Support Centre, which coordinates payload operations for the International Space Station. In short, well, this facility provides the engineering leadership to turn bold exploration into hardware, right? So the Mercury Redstone launch vehicle, and this is where you start seeing, this is where you start seeing some very familiar things, right? So I'll show you here as we circle around the facility. We'll get in good and low, don't worry. So you've all seen this, right? In fact, they actually have some of these parked up in, there's one of these parked up in Houston, right? It is said the Saturn V reached 204 decibels at launch. Jesus. Just right. I felt bad for you, Murph. Yeah, so do I. So the Mercury Redstone launch vehicle, designed for NASA's Project Mercury, was the first American crewed space booster. It was also used for 6 suborbital Mercury flights in 1960 and 1961. Pretty cool, right? These were all tested here, manufactured by the Chrysler Corporation, right? And they were launched out of Cape Canaveral. So you can see the exploded view of, well, the stuff, the rocket, right? Where you have all our fuel, the rocket engine, and then we have its control surfaces built into the tail unit, all right? Now, there was a number of these built, naturally. So you can see where all the oxidizer fuel, rocket engine fins, cable unit, aft unit, ballast, Mercury capsule, it's relatively small compared to everything else, right? But the number of flights that this thing used, you had the Mercury Rocket 1, empty capsule launch aborted, rocket shut down at liftoff due to an electrical fault. That was in November 1960. An empty capsule took off on the Mercury Rocket 1 Alpha. All the way up, the Mercury Rocket 2 carried Ham. That was a chimpanzee, right? And then all the way up until May...
Proby Pete has just joined the group.
Man, Proby Pete. All the way up until May 1961, right? Where you had Mercury 3. That was the rocket, but it was known... The mission was known as Freedom 7. That was Alan Shepard. And then in July, Gus Grissom. So these are all the early testing, like the Mercury projects. We'll learn more about this when we're doing our Houston stuff. But you can see it here. I mean, isn't it absolutely mad when you think about it? It's mad when you think about it. Expanding on what was, V2 rockets into this neck of the woods. Crazy stuff, right? And to this day, on display, there's one in Kalamazoo in Michigan, there's one in Kansas, there's one in North Carolina, there's one in Puerto Rico, and there's one at the Space Center in Houston, Texas. We got to see one of these, one of the Mercury rockets, which is absolutely deadly, right? So where we are at the moment, as we kind of have a now look here beneath us, this is the whole facility, which is pretty cool, right? You might want to change live weather to a few clouds. Okay, yeah, we'll have a look. So what I want to show you here, lads, because we do have photogrammetry for this neck of the woods, which is absolutely brilliant, right? So we'll go down here and have a quick look before we continue on with our flight. This facility, to this day, is still in use, right? It's still in use. There's one in Huntsville as well, yeah. So it's a huge facility, and as I say, it's vitally important not only to what NASA are currently doing with Artemis, but also for future missions as well. And we got some really good photogrammetry here. I mean, we can really, Jesus, there's thunder and everything. We can really see kind of the layout of the land here. The airport very close by, and as we move on in, all the various different facilities, including the launch facilities, where they were doing all the initial testing. In particular, those F1 engines, absolutely unbelievable. And they put 5 of those on the Saturn V, right? So yeah, we got really good photogrammetry here, just to give you an idea of what display. And like, it's gas, right? Prior to this series, I had no idea. I thought, okay, NASA, yeah, they got Houston, you know, they have Florida. That's it. Hadn't a clue. I genuinely had no idea that there are so many more facilities, but also the importance of these facilities. It's absolutely incredible. And, you know, similar, you think of scale, like Texas and whatnot, this facility, the Redstone Arsenal, like this place is massive. It's massive. Aviator 1, good to see you, bud. Flipper Alloy, thank you for 55 months. What a ledge. Cheers, buddy. So you can see here, we actually have launch pads. Now, the launch pads primarily for testing engines in the rockets. And you can see that photogrammetry actually does an alright, like it actually does an alright job here, right? And you can see like there's various blast damage done on the ground.
Has joined the group.
And you can see where they're building more and more. Yeah, the test stands, mainly for testing the engines effectively, let them run. And it was said like it shook the entire area. You would hear these things testing from miles away. And when you look at all the kind of the main industry around it, like you got a logging camp down here, and various different testing pads. Look, isn't that kind of cool? And like, what's mad? This is still used to this day. It's vital, in fact, today. 7,000 people working here. Like, it's incredible the scale, the scope and the scale. And even as we kind of go, just a little bit of just exploring here, and that's one thing that's just class about the photogrammetry. Like, you know, you can actually explore the region here and just get an idea of the layout, where things are. You know what I mean? Hazard the Pilot, good to see you, bud. Welcome in, man. About the same decibel as the hotel in Almere due to Merce flatulence. They're fighting words now, Eamon, huh? But yeah, I gotta say, the photogrammetry is really good here. Like, could you imagine what the power requirements must have been here? The fuel, how dangerous. Imagine the friggin' secrecy or the security that would have been at this facility. Isn't it absolutely mad, lads? So this is the start of our trip tonight. This is where we kind of, you know, we move on from, I suppose, the early technology, getting the astronauts or making them astronauts, into where they actually started building this stuff. It's absolutely nuts. And it's great to see photogrammetry like this, because we really do get a sense just of the overall scale of here. Like, this place is massive. It's huge. I mean, look at the whole area, look. Absolutely massive. And it's like, it's in a very nice area. There's trees all the way around it. And of course, we got our big airport up the road as well. So yeah, absolutely class looking stuff. So we continue on. We're going to do a direct to with our GPS. Well, we don't even need to do a direct to. We're just going to get ourselves turned on course. So let me see. Autopilot. We'll talk to you. We're going to go to nav mode arm. We're going to go to altitude. What are we? Altitude select. We're a little bit high here. So let's go ahead and set this guy for about 5,500 feet. We're not going to single digits, no. Really? Usually when you click that, why can't we? Really, Carinado? You can't go 500s? Okay. Maybe not at this altitude. Okay, so we're going to go altitude select. We're going to go VS. We're going to go autopilot master. And we're going to down our VS. All right, we're dropping there now, and we should now pick up. Is it not liking me heading? Negative. It's not liking our heading. So we'll go heading mode. And we'll get ourselves turned on course. There is wild weather coming in. Very cool stuff. Never knew about these. It's mad, Ed, isn't it? It's class. Like when you start learning this stuff, it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So we're going to turn back on course. We do have nav mode armed. That's a quick look down here. That's armed. And yeah, it's going to follow the GPS from there. Right. So we'll see how we continue on. The aircraft should pick up everything. I bet this place doesn't use as much power as Murph's Manor, right? It's mad, isn't it? So as we continue on, we'll see what happens as we break down through these clouds. We can probably get more vertical speed here, can we? We'll drop her down a little bit. Ease off the power. There we go. And we'll try and break down through these clouds. About 5,500 feet should do us. So the scale of the challenge, right? We're at a facility that built equipment, but let's just talk about the scale of the challenge. To fly men to the moon and have them return safely to the Earth. That's the scale, right? So the moon's mean distance from Earth is about 238,000 miles, or about 384,000 kilometers, roughly 30 Earth diameters. Because its orbit is elliptical, that distance varies. At pedigree, or closest approach, the moon is about 225,000 miles, or 363,000 kilometers. But at the other angle, it could be 252,000 miles or 405,000 kilometers. So it varies, right? So to put it into perspective, a spacecraft must travel 10 times further than a typical geostationary satellite and be able to escape Earth's gravity well entirely. This requires enormous amounts of fuel and thrust, right? So additional information here. The lunar distance. And then they said, right, we need to figure out how long does it take? How do we figure out the velocity? And how can we keep it fueled? And it's not just, it wasn't just like, okay, this is the fixed range, this is the fixed time, this is the fixed speed. There were so many variables. The moon's distance in different phases between January and December. Because you have the orbital history of not only of the moon, but like you have tidal dissipation. There are so many things that come into this, right? So with that said, keep an eye, we're following our flight plan. Reaching lunar distance with astronauts, a lander and return capsule demands lifting tens of thousands of kilograms into a trans-lunar trajectory. NASA's answer was the Saturn V, and according to NASA, the three-stage Saturn V could place about 118,000 kilograms, that's roughly 130 tons, into Earth orbit and still send about 43,500 kilos, or 50 tons, towards the moon. Now, earlier rockets were nowhere near powerful enough. For example, the Atlas Able booster used for the early lunar probes, well, that could only deliver about 500 pounds to lunar impact trajectories. The Titan II intercontinental ballistic missile, adapted for space, well, that could carry about 3,600 kilograms to low Earth orbit and about 227 kilograms to escape velocity. Getting 3 astronauts plus a lunar lander to the moon required a super heavy launch vehicle. And then we come up with the idea of, well, whose plan here is going to be right? When they talked about, okay, we need a rocket, we need a 3-stage rocket, that's pretty much what they settled on, right? So you often see the pictures, if you watch Apollo 13, rocket takes off, and then you have different stages of separation, right? Because it burns through all the fuel, right? Don't need you anymore, good luck to you, and then the next one takes over, right? And there were, at the time, different theories, different ideas on, well, how are they actually going to make this work? Do we need something that will launch them from Earth all the way to the moon and bring them back? Or Do we launch something from Earth that could perhaps rendezvous with another craft already in orbit and then go to the moon? Or do we launch people from Earth, bring them up to like some sort of a holding station, or in this case, a space station, and then build the lunar vehicle from that station? And all these were all heavily thought upon. These were really, teased out and tested out just to figure all of this, how it's going to happen. And we'll learn more about the theory behind the trajectory, but that's for a later episode when we talk about, the Mission Control Center in Houston, because this is where they did all this work, right? So the decision now is for a 3-phased rocket, and that rocket needed to be extremely powerful. They were going to launch a vehicle from Earth that was going to travel to the moon, land on the moon, and then come back. Right, how do we make this happen? So, to put a spacecraft on a translunar trajectory, you need to add roughly 3.05 to 3.25 kilometers a second of extra velocity beyond low Earth orbit speed. Now, stay with me. During Apollo, this translunar injection, or TLI, burn lasted about 350 seconds and accelerated the spacecraft to about 10.4 kilometers a second relative to Earth. Early Atlas and Titan boosters simply lacked the thrust and fuel capacity for such an enormous Delta V and could not carry the fuel, crew and lander altogether. NASA had to design a vehicle as tall as a 36-story building with 5 engines and an unprecedented fuel load to meet the velocity requirement. DPU fail. DPU fail. That's something new on the aircraft. Inverter I can't play with. Actuators, engine eyes, prop gov, auto feather arm. DPU? Anyone know what that is? Oh wait. Pitot heat? DPU? Ever see that before? No? Okay. And again, when we're looking at, when we get to Houston in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a look at then as well. Okay, we have the vehicle. We have to go off and engineer a vehicle that's going to be able to launch from Earth, get them into space, and away they go. But what about that velocity? And the theory behind it was called slingshot. The idea would be they would maintain an Earth orbit with a very slight pitch. The idea being is that we're going to use the gravity of Earth to pull them down slowly, but at a pitch angle that maintained altitude but increased their acceleration, increased their overall top speed. So the idea was they'd launch, go into orbit, do a couple of laps to pick up the speed, and then slingshot off towards the moon. And they would do the same coming back. Anyone who watched Apollo 13, for example, well, now you know. Distributed power unit. Interesting. So, pretty cool stuff, right? Pretty cool stuff. So, the Saturn V, F1 engines, power, fuel, and thrust. The first stage, or SIC, of the Saturn V used 5 F1 engines. Each engine produced about 1.5 million pounds of thrust. Together, they generated about 7.5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, more than all earlier US rocket engines combined. Right? The engines burned RP1 kerosene and liquid oxygen. A massive turbopump fed about 42,500 gallons of propellant per minute to keep the engine burning. The combination of high thrust, huge propellant, gave the Saturn V the raw power to escape through Earth's gravity. Like, just these numbers, lads. Like, each engine can produce about 1.5 million pounds of thrust, right? An F-18 with its afterburner, right? And their General Electric, the F404 engines, The afterburning turbofan can produce 11,000 pounds of thrust. 11,000 pounds of thrust in an F-18. 11,000 pounds. This thing, 1.5 million pounds. Like, it's literally astronomical, right? That was terrible. It's mad, isn't it? Right? Anyway, and that was just the first stage. The Saturn V was a 3-stage rocket. NASA explains that the first stage lifted the vehicle to about 68 kilometers. Then it separated. The second stage nearly placed the spacecraft into orbit, and the third stage completed orbital insertion and then reignited to accelerate the spacecraft towards the moon. Shredding empty stages dramatically reduced the mass and made the remaining vehicle far more efficient. This staging concept, pioneered in earlier rockets, was essential to achieving the trans-lunar injection velocity. The Saturn V's success came from combining enormous thrust with careful weight reduction and precise guidance. Engineers used aluminum honeycomb structures, or aluminum honeycomb structures, to keep the stages light, and they refined guidance algorithms to ensure the rocket pointed accurately during each burn. Each Saturn V first and second stage underwent full duration static test firing at the Mississippi test facility, now known as the Stennis Space Center. That's where we're heading to, before it got shipped over to Florida. This practice led to the saying, if you want to go to the moon, you first have to go through Hancock County, Mississippi, highlighting that quality control at Stennis was critical to mission success. Now, static testing also allowed engineers to catch problems before the flight, something the Soviets unfortunately did not do with their N-1 rocket, right? Now, the Saturn V. Lego did a model of this. I'm sure there's a number of you who would have had a poster of this in your room, right? Or at least you've seen it before, right? And to think the Irish invented the rocket motor back in 1347. Dougal, I'm telling you, right? So here we have the launch of Apollo 11. And the different stages of this. So if you look in very closely, well, you can actually see, look, here's the 5 F1 engines, right? 5 F1 engines. Dazzy Arab is here. Good to see you, buddy. Kieran Nile is here. Welcome in. Happy Monday, lads. Hope you're well. So a picture there is a Saturn V with Apollo 11 blasting off, right? So, where is this now? We have a look at these F1 engines. That's Von Braun, rather. Look at the size of those engines. Like, for scale. And he's not a small man. Are they Mercedes or Ferrari, right? Look at the size of those engines. Isn't that frightening, lads? Renault, yeah, the Renault. Isn't that mad? Absolutely crazy. Crazy stuff. So here's one of these dynamic testing setups. Something similar that we just saw up the road with the rocket inside, look. Kind of cool, right? And then all the Saturn V launches between 1967 and 1973. Apollo 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then Skylab 1. They all used Saturn V rockets, a 3-stage rocket powered by the F1 engines. Serial number, the mission it was included in, and then its launch date. It's all there. The first uncrewed all-up test flight, Apollo 6. J2 engine problems caused early shutdown. Apollo 8. That was the first translunar injection of Apollo Command and Service Module. Jim Lovell went on Apollo 8. Apollo 9 crewed low Earth orbit test of the complete Apollo spacecraft. Apollo 10. Then we had Apollo 11, the first crewed lunar landing. Apollo 12, It was struck twice by lightning shortly after liftoff, didn't suffer serious damage, made second crewed lunar landing. Apollo 13, severe oscillations in second stage caused early center engine shutdown, guidance compensated by burning remaining engines, and then there was a service module failure. Apollo 14, Apollo 15, 16, and then 17. It was the only nighttime launch. It was the final crewed lunar landing, which is Apollo 17. Skylab was uncrewed 1973. It was a workshop which replaced the third stage on display at the Johnson Space Center. It was originally designated or for cancelled Apollo 18. That's crazy. And then there's 2 unused. There was one built for Apollo 19, one built for Apollo 20. It's in preservation right now. Isn't that mad? First stage of Apollo 8. Like, look at the scale. That's just the first stage. Isn't that crazy, isn't it? How cool is that? So here's a cutaway diagram of the first stage rocket. So you can see, here's your engines, and then looking inside, well, these are all your different baffles. Then you have like your various fuel, and how everything's all put together. That's right, Heisenberg. Yeah, I read that. Nixon had a letter ready to read in case astronauts didn't make it to the moon and back. Crazy stuff. At the Mississippi Test Facility, here's what... Jesus, that's like the bridge on the 4th and 5th, isn't it? It's getting loaded into place, look. It's mad, I was never aware of all kind of the backstory. Do you know what I mean? Getting moved out to the NASA Assembly Building. That's the one out in Kennedy in Florida. Mad. Oh, what a picture. Jesus. Condensation clouds surrounding Apollo 11 as it works its way through the dense lower atmosphere. Bloody hell, that would be like the photo of the century, wouldn't it? Look at that. Savage. You stood next to an F1 engine. Yeah, they're massive. Here's Apollo 11 during its separation then. You've seen that in the movie anyway, do you know? Apollo 4... yeah, here we go, look. You've seen this before, this kind of crack. This is deadly looking. Isn't that mad looking? Like, I'm trying to figure out how high up do we have to be to see the curvature of the Earth. It's not terribly high. You can actually see it from in aviation aircraft. You can actually see the curvature of the Earth. Now, nothing like that, but like, that's incredible, man. About 45,000 feet. It's mad, isn't it? That's awesome. The Saturn shuttle concept. The Earth is flat. We all know it, right? It's crazy, isn't it? There's a Saturn mock-up 1-to-1 scale in Huntsville. And like, do you know what's mad about all of this, lads? Like, I mean, space exploration, going to the moon with Artemis and all that, it's now relevant again because it's happening again. And that's why all of this fascinates me, because as we'll learn throughout this series, all this new pioneering technology, the pioneering engineering, all of this stuff was brand new. And you can kind of see where the evolution came from the early concepts into what was used during, you know, Mercury, Gemini, and then Apollo. But then that technology of how we then push it on into the space shuttle, and then later into Artemis, right? And it blows my mind to think how similar and almost exactly in terms of some of the some of the systems are still used that were used all the way back in the 1960s. If it's not broken, don't fix it. There's a lot of that, right? Yes, we do have much more modern technology, far more capability, but a lot of the foundational work, it's still exactly what they did back then. Mad. Derek, good to see you, buddy. The Irish invented a new and improved globe model. Yes. They did it back in the late 1700s. Seeing the Saturn V static display was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. No photo or textbook description I'd seen prior to that moment. No way. Yeah, like, politics will always have a draw on what happens when it comes to, you know, space exploration, right? Be it what competitors are doing, or, you know, if civilian companies are doing it, you're always going to have political push, right? But I still think it's kind of cool. Poor El Greta won't be happy, you know. Could we say we went a bit backwards compared to the shuttle? I don't know. So, the spacecraft then. So that was the engine. NASA's lunar missions used a 3-craft architecture. It had the command module, it had the service module, and then it had the lunar module. Each played a very distinct role. The command module, that was the astronauts' pressurized living and control compartment. It housed the spacecraft's computers, the controls, the navigation systems, and also the re-entry equipment. It was the only portion that returned to Earth, protected by an ablative heat shield during re-entry and parachutes for ocean splashdown. The command module provided living space for the crew during the entire journey, and it served as the re-entry capsule. So the command module, the lunar command module, or command module, that's where Michael Collins was when Neil and Buzz headed down, right? And then you had this lunar orbital rendezvous. And like the friggin', like the physics, damn it, Jim, the physics, the idea behind, well, how do we get this to work, right? Incredible stuff. So the command module was pretty much, Janie then, was pretty much kind of the main machine, right? Then you had attached to the command module this cylindrical bit called the service module. That contained the mission's main propulsion system, including a large engine for major course changes and the burns to center and leave lunar orbit. It also housed the fuel cells for electrical power. It housed oxygen and water supplies, radiators and control systems. Without the service module, the command module would have lacked the power and consumables to complete the mission. Then we have the lunar module, originally known, of course, as the Lunar Excursion Module, the LEM, right? The lunar module was a 2-stage craft designed solely for lunar operations. Its descent stage carried fuel, landing gear, and a throttle-able engine that gently lowered the vehicle onto the moon. The ascent stage contained a smaller engine and the crew cabin. When lifted, the astronauts off the lunar surface to rendezvous with the command module in lunar orbit. Designing 3 separate spacecraft, one for deep space and re-entry, one for propulsion and life support, and one for lunar landing and ascent, that allowed each to be optimized for its task, that was a complete masterstroke of engineering. And if we have a look here at the spacecraft, right, because this is where it gets nuts. So we have the command module. Inside, you see it. You have the lunar module, the service module, and the command module. So the launch escape system, and then you have the engine. And you've often seen that, again, if you watch Apollo 13 or any of the space stuff, when they kind of get into orbit, they have to rendezvous. So, you know, they push out, they have to flip around, and then come back in and make connection with the lunar module, and then they grab that. That's the rendezvous, and, you know, off they go, right? So that's the layout of it there inside its main housing, right? The Apollo 17 service module seen in lunar orbit from the ascent stage. So the command module was the control center of Apollo, or of the Apollo missions. That's the command module. That's where they're doing all their stuff, look. Right at the very top. Then the lunar module, this cool looking guy. This was built by Grumman, I think, isn't it? That's what she said. This is built by Grumman. Same guys that brought us the F-14, lads. I'm just saying. Rendezvous radar, antennas, reaction control, thrusters. Mad looking. Spacecraft lunar module adapter, or SLA. That's the SLA panels. And they'd have to turn around, go back in, grab a hold of it, and then off they go again. The launch escape system. The launch escape, it was built by Lockheed Propulsion. Its purpose was to abort the mission by pulling the command module away from the launch vehicle in an emergency, such as a pad fire before launch, guidance failure, or a launch vehicle failure likely to lead to imminent explosion.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
So it was basically a giant ejector seat, but it was a rocket that would just grab the command module with it and horse it up the road. Mutley, good evening. So if you ever want to know what that was, that's what that was. Mad. The nose cone and cue ball. So this is all the layout here, look. Canard assembly, nose and cue ball, pitch control, tower, launch escape, and then of course the command module that had parachutes fitted to it. That's mad, isn't it? And if we were to look at the command module, combined command and service module, if we were to look at the command module in terms of the cockpit, check it out. Now, I'd be very comfortable in here. I'm just saying now, I'd be very comfortable in here. I reckon now, lads, no problem at all. I'd know exactly what every single button would do. And then I'd wake up in a cold sweat. Isn't that frightening? Imagine calling that home. A panel straight in front of your head, away you go, and it had everything. Everything you needed. That's pretty cool. Sure, it looks exactly like the DC-6. Yeah, command muse, exactly. Isn't it frightening, lads? And that there is the original cockpit of Apollo 11. It's located in the National Air and Space Museum. Wow. And here's like a breakdown of what the control module is. Isn't it mad? Like 1960s? You know what I mean? Absolutely mad. Here's the Apollo 14 command module. I think they have Apollo 17s as well. It's crazy when you think about it. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Right, we're nearly at our first stop of the night. Nearly, I say. What are we doing, 190 knots? Yeah, we're okay. Sort of. Let's go down to this fella now and edit some fields here so we can see what we're doing. Change the fields, get rid of track. I want estimated time to destination. Estimated time to destination. There we go. And then this guy, we're going to put in some wind information because I don't know what the wind is doing. All right, so we have a 5 knot headwind-ish, sort of, kind of. All right. So we'll continue on after a little bit because it's all well and good to say, you know, yeah, we have to build all these things. We need to figure out all these things. Well, sure, let's just do it. Not at all. President Kennedy, in his speech, gave them literally a matter of years to get this all figured out. From zero to hero, he wanted it done before 1970. What? He less than 9 years, I think. Crazy. You've seen that? No way. P.S. Miranda, good to see you. Hammer and Phillips screwdriver. Yeah, we're good for launch. Dan, that's it. So Murph, you want to try re-entry where you can fly the Apollo mission as well as Mercury and Gemini. There is There was an add-on that you can do that back in the days of P3D, I remember, and I think there is some sort of a landing thing you can do. I thought I saw something for flight sim. No? Yeah, it was Grumman. Isn't it mad when you think about it? Do you know, like, I mean, look at the technology that we have today in aircraft, for example. And yet, look, there are similarities, various different buttons, switches, you know, from a pilot's perspective, yeah, what's my altitude, what's my speed, what's my attitude, you know, pitch, roll, all that kind of stuff. There are similarities. But rockets, well, it gets crazy, doesn't it? Just Flight Space Shuttle. Ah. And it was like, they came up with all of this in the 50s and the 60s. Right? And meanwhile, the Russians, the Soviets, I mean, they were busy hard at work doing their things. So much so, I mean, you know, the Soviets, from their perspective, they were launching rockets far more frequently. They were smashing all the records. A dude spent, I don't know how many, was it 14 hours in space or 24 hours in space or something? And then they actually sent a crew up in normal clothing. They sent a crew up without spacesuits. They sent them up in like normal attire. And then NASA were like, Jesus, the Soviets, they're planning this Apollo mission as well. They knew, they said, right, it's going to be a 3-man crew, right? Terra Builder. Ooh. I mean, our cell phones have more computing power than the guidance computer of 100% Wicked Lumberjacks. That re-entry sim, it's a standalone program on its own, absolutely wild. We'll have to give it a blast. It's re-entry for the space shuttle though, isn't it? Yeah, like absolutely mad, lads, mad. So where we're heading to now, this is Meridian Naval Air Station. There was no direct connection between this and NASA. However, it was a facility that trained pilots, particularly test pilots, throughout its years. And it kind of goes to show, like, I mean, in this time frame between, right, here's rockets, the Soviets are doing all these things, we need to catch up. Then the president makes an announcement to say, yeah, we're all going to the moon, lads, way before the end of the decade, right? And then you have the engineering. These brilliant minds of engineering. And as I said, like when we visit Houston, that's going to be focusing on the minds of the mission control, right? Here's our pilots or astronauts. Here's the spacecraft or equipment, right? But we run the whole operation, the entire operation. From takeoff or liftoff all the way down to landing again. And like the science experiments that were needed, the weather, the impact on the weather could have, unbelievable, you know. And to think this was all achieved. And here we are, however many years later. How many years later? 50? And we're just heading back. It's got different craft modelled from history as well in the space program. Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, and the shuttle. No way! The trip computer in the Skoda has more power. But it's mad when you think about it. And like, yes, as technology has taken a massive leap forward. This was at a time, lads, there was no such thing as the internet as we know it. There was no such thing as personal computers. Just forget it. It just didn't happen. Yeah, there were computers, but they were friggin' ginormous setups, you know. There was nothing like what we have now. And then you think back and you think about simulations or simulators and how important simulators were for the entirety of the space program. We see it on flight, right? And this is a flight simulator, and we can simulate all the various aspects of flying, which is incredible when you think about it. It's not just pretty graphics and we're looking out the window. I mean, the nuts and bolts of this is a simulator. It's designed to simulate what the real things actually do to whatever capacity we want to allow for. And we can expand on that by adding hardware or different modules, right? It's quite fascinating. Did NASA take test pilots for Apollo X, or did they save them for Apollo 11? Johnny Bravo. Fazilla, since the lightning issue during one of the launches, all launch pads have lightning towers now. No way. Steiny, good to see you. Oh yeah, I had to go to Discord. Hold. The Bremen Bar. Ah, Jesus. Well, Commander Balosh is... Scene didn't switch, alert's not working. To be fair, that's pretty accurate. That is pretty accurate. Laggy Larry in the background, look. Here we go again. Look at that, Laggy Larry. That's brilliant. That's painful. Not my fault, it's... yeah, top supporter, even though you roast me. Brilliant. Anyway, Super Tie, Saturn V is big. This was a concept from 1962. The biggest rocket ever designed. Curious droid. Let's have a look.
In the history of space, one rocket stands out as an icon.
Jesus.
Hello all. Moose 420 has just joined the group.
Sea Dragon, they called it. Bloody hell. Yeah, that's pretty nuts, Super Tight. That's pretty nuts. Oh, look at this. The Apollo. Oh, we'll have a look at this, will we? We'll have a look at this before we land, because we're landing here now in a few moments. We'll fire this up and have a look. We all watching now. Can we have sound on this, I wonder? Is there sound on this?
That's the last action taken by the crew aboard the space vehicle. Now approaching the half-minute mark. T-minus 33, T-minus 30 seconds, and continuing on now. Continuing on at the T-minus 26 second
Apollo
mark,
17, the only
we'll
nighttime launch.
Release at the T-minus 17 second mark. T-minus 17, final guidance release. We'll expect engine ignition at 8.9 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, ignition sequence started. All engines are started. We have ignition. 2, 1, 0. We have a liftoff.
The sound.
Liftoff, and it's lighting up the areas. It's just like daylight here at Kennedy Space Center as the Saturn V is moving off the pad. It has now cleared the tower.
Tower, yours complete. We're in a row, Bob. Roger, Gino, looking great. Stuff's good on all 5 engines. Okay, babe, it's looking good. Your roll is complete. We are fishing.
That's awesome. Some sources say it reached 133 decibels from 3 miles away. Jesus. Ah, lads, that is incredible. Incredible. That was Apollo 17. So for each Apollo, they had a new rocket. Yeah, Johnny. Different rocket. Same rocket, just different numbers of them. That makes sense. It's kind of mad. So like Artemis 2, and then you have Artemis 3. Isn't it before... We've 3 years, I think. Isn't that what they said to get us to the moon? They want them landing on the moon and back home again. And Mars, the mission to Mars, I think, before 2040. Oh, good man, Steiny. We've more pictures. Hold, lads. I love that you're sharing all these. This is awesome. Oh, brilliant! Look at this. Maverick Mike, Saturn V at Kennedy. Jesus, lads. I need to go to Kennedy, Florida, on the rest area heading to Mercy. Brilliant. Man alive. Isn't it crazy? Next, Artemis will be testing the lander. Flopnik. After the shock of Sputnik and the much larger Sputnik 2 launched with a dog aboard, the US rushed to launch its own satellite into space. The result was a disaster In December 1957, as the nation watched on live TV, a slender Navy Vanguard rocket topped by a tiny 2.9-pound ball-shaped satellite struggled to rise 4 feet before falling onto the launch pad and exploding. Oh, what a flopnik, blared the press. Kaputnik. From 1957 and 59, the US suffered 20 failed launches against only 18 successes. The Soviets too experienced their share of problems. 7 failures against 6 successes, but theirs were kept a secret. What? That's nuts. That is nuts. That's the Mercury 7. Sweet. Oh, look at all the cool stuff. Warning lights. Yeah. See, that's where the light is. Kennedy's speech part of it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's like, it's the whole thing, it just fascinates me. It does not get old at all. It's absolutely incredible. Do you know, when you consider, like, putting 3 lads into a spacecraft, yup you divil it, land them on the moon, bring them back home again, then they send up a car, the rover, right? Kerbal Space Program. We specialize in. I had a quick look at Kerbal. I haven't downloaded it. I have it. I watched someone play it there last week. I was very confused. I'll be 95 for the Mars mission. Do you want to see the jacks, right? My current Kerbal Space Program save is titled the Scottish Aerospace Division, or SAD for short. Larry's here, good to see you. Larry, I listened to you on Dublin earlier on. But man yourself a Kenko. We're almost at Meridian, correct and right. Kerbal is easy. What do you mean Kerbal is easy? Crucifixions are total. Bloody hell. Right, we need to drop her down there. 4,000. Vertical speed. Oh, it's soupy weather out here. I gotta say though, even in the bad weather, it looks great. So this is our first stop of the night. It's a quick stop, and then we belt on through all the way down to Stennis. As we are just about to leave Alabama. The Limbics, good to see you, buddy. Work lurking. Hope you're well, mate. My husband said he would pay to see you play Kerbal Space Program. The Joke Ace, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'll need to fire it up someday when the brain like just doesn't have the level of a quieter night. You know, Don Waldy, good to see you, bud. Welcome in. Kerbal is so good. Right, we got 3 runways to go for. We're going to fly this one straight in. So, autopilot. Coming up. Meridian, Firefly, November 235, inbound for a full stop, runway 19er left, Meridian. If you download the mech jab for Kerbal Space Program, you can get it to calculate all the burns when you launch. Oh, okay. We'll check those out in a moment there, Steiny. Alright. Ease off the power. I'll need to delete all my shader cache again. I'm still getting some stutters. Got an old record of the Apollo 11 audio mission. No way! That's awesome. Alright. We need to bleed off this speed, something fierce. Let's try an L slip here. How does she behave? Not too bad. Easy now, easy now, easy now. Speed 180. We've overshot that, but that's quite okay. Speed 170, gear. Coming in real fast. 160 flaps. Huge stutter, Jesus. RVS not ready. Why don't we have reverses ready? Do we need a button for that, I wonder? Easy now. Speed is good.
Approaching runway 19 left. Caution, caution.
We're all right. We're all right. We'll see a starship there, look.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Stew, you devil! All right, power to idle. Hold the nose. Oh, Jesus. You're after floating that, you muppet. Get her down. Jesus, the stutters. Into beta. There's diesel. Bullamar, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. 40 knots. Out of beta. Flaps coming in. And we'll exit the runway. And November 235 runway Mike, clear the runway. We'll go up the little pathway. Easy now. Okay, that's our fuel flow. How much fuel do we actually have on board? Yeah, we're alright. We're alright. Yeah, I need to, as I said, Kerbal, it looks like it'd be a day of just like a sore head. Loads of fun though. Easy now. So Meridian Naval Air Station. That's where we are right now. Don't mind the second one. Yeah, I heard that, buddy. Heard that. Don't run out of fuel like you did on Friday. That was just a day that will live in infamy. We're in Mississippi, by the way. Mississippi. Loads of aircraft coming in. Oh, heck yeah. There's Kato. Up you devil you. What's your speed here as we're taxiing? Jeez, we're kicking up balls. We're kicking up all sorts. Easy now. The ICAO is Kilo November, Mike Mike. Kilo November, Mike Mike. That is pretty cool. Look, it's a gorgeous plane, isn't it? Alright. Kerbal makes it fun as well. Failing is half of it. Explosions. Also, the humour tucked away in the part descriptions and science is pretty good. 100%. Bobowski says, is there anyone old enough to remember Microsoft's Space Simulator from the early 90s? What?
Newsflash, Moose 4 just joined the group.
Huzzah. Right. Launch of flaps for takeoff. Get out of the freaking pappy lights, Murph, you big idiot. Alright.
Just a quick note, Moose 420 has joined the group.
Moose 420. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Moose 420's there, mind yourself. So this is everyone who's using Say Intentions group
I'm
here right
sorry,
now.
I can only assist with aviation-related communications. Please provide a relevant message for rephrasing.
Alrighty then. So you can see everyone who's with us now, look. And where we're heading. That's pretty cool. Microsoft Space Simulator was an MS-DOS program. No way. Crazy. Right. Are we ready, sports fans? So what's going to happen down the road here? We're going to fly down towards Kilo Hotel Sierra Alpha, but to the west of it, that's where the Space Center is. So that's where we're going to head to first. We're going to fly over that and then ramble back in. Why isn't that working? Do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Wait for it now. Wait for it now. It says it's connected, but it is not connected. Bum 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 bum. Oh. The Boise don't even start. Hopefully this works. Okay, it works. So where we are at the moment, lads, we're here. We're going to fly all the way down, but I want to go down to where the Space Center is.
Good
down
news,
here.
everyone. Todd Pilot Piper has just joined the group.
All right. And then it's just across then into Kilo Hotel Sierra Alpha. So that is the plan. Are we ready? Sumner, shag off. Muse, shag off. Okay, take a power set. There's a stutter. Airspeed. Alive. $60. 90. 100. Yepsy daisy. Ah, is it ready to climb? Gear coming up. Such a beautiful airplane, isn't it? Easy now. Okay, autopilot. Try not to kill his plane. There we go. We'll climb a bit. We're saying 4,000. V speed up the hill. That's a bit better. Right, lads, run away. Right, we'll try a head count again. This time I won't make a balls of it. If you're flying along on the PlayStation or Xbox, please press 1. If you're on the PC, that's number 2. If you're using Saint Engines, it's number 3. And for everyone else, if you're enjoying the views and the information and it's all cool about space, well, you press number 4. Jesus! James Waters, you can't see anyone on multiplayer. Uh-oh. Try exclamation point how to multiplayer, all one word. Just have a quick look at that video and just make sure your settings are the same. Here's Wombat. Good man, Larry. There's a Muse van. This is a very nice plane. Beautiful. all right. 50 in a row. Gav, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Cheers, man. Super Ty, thank you very much. 18 on the PC. We got 2 on groupie and 2 on console. Nice. So the deadlines, right? This is where it all starts getting terribly, terribly interesting. So deadlines versus safety. Because where you have tight deadlines, well, you're going to have issues with safety, right? So, put you there. On the 25th of May, 1961, President JFK, or John F. Kennedy, committed the United States to landing a man on the moon before the end of the decade. That left NASA less than 9 years to design, build, test, and fly an entirely new class of launch vehicles, spacecraft, and lunar landers. At Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Werner von Braun mobilized thousands of engineers drawing on wartime V2 expertise. Schedules were grueling. Flights had to be prepared and tested quickly, often pushing the safety margins. Now, as we learn all about the Apollo program, and remember, this was you had Mercury and then you had Gemini, right? The Apollo program itself, this was the human space flight to get the first humans to land on the moon, right? It was conceived in 1960. We'll read this, right? The Apollo program, also known as Project Apollo, was the United States human spaceflight program led by NASA, which landed the first humans on the moon in 1969. Apollo was conceived in 1960 in the Dwight D. Eisenhower presidency during Project Mercury and executed after Project Gemini. Apollo was later dedicated to President JFK's national goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth, in his address to the US Congress on May the 25th. I have a clip for that. There is what's that called? Public domain stuff we can have a look at. The goal was accomplished when the Apollo 11 mission, astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, landed their Apollo lunar module on July 20th, 1969. Michael Collins remained in lunar orbit in the command and service module. Apollo ran from 1961 to 1972, the first crewed flight in 1968. Apollo 1, a major setback. Tragedy struck on the 27th of January 1967 when a fire during a ground test on the first crewed Apollo spacecraft killed astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaff. Investigations revealed severely deadly design flaws. The command module was pressurized with pure oxygen at 16.7 psi, which was higher than atmospheric pressure, making the cabin highly flammable. It was found that flammable materials such as Velcro and nylon nets ignited quickly, and the inward opening hatch had multiple latches, making it impossible.
Piper has just joined the group.
Made it impossible for the crew to escape before the fire consumed the cabin. NASA overhauled the spacecraft design after the fire. Hatches were redesigned to open outward, flammable materials were removed, and ground tests used nitrogen-oxygen mix with lower pressure. Now, it was said during the investigation, and you can imagine just how detailed. Couldn't get the door open. Yeah. DJ Freemanx, good to see you, bud. Chaff E, is that how it's pronounced? Sergio Costa, welcome aboard, buddy. Hope you're well. So they found that, the original blame was, hey, there's too much Velcro in here. Now, the astronauts, the pilots, they wanted more Velcro in there because things like putting, their pens or notebooks, they wanted Velcro in different places because, well, in space, you've no gravity, things move around, right? And during their tests, they said, well, look, Velcro, this isn't flammable, it's fine. It's only when they realised that, hang on a second, you were pumping the aircraft, it was pressurised beyond the limit of what it should have been in a high pressurised environment, Velcro became highly flammable. And they showed them it was all internal investigations. Well, to an extent. But anyway, the long and the short of it was, there was a number of things that went wrong with Apollo 1. And the test that they were doing in question was done many times before, no issue, right? It was just one of those things. And that's when we learn about, you know, the time constraints that were put on the entirety of this space program. So, to give you an idea of the scale, the Apollo program was the largest single technical project ever undertaken. NASA estimates that more than 400,000 engineers, scientists, and technicians, and hundreds of universities and contractors were involved. Major companies produced different stages of the Saturn V, including Boeing, North American Aviation, Douglas Aircraft, and thousands of smaller firms contributed parts. Coordinating the vast workforce under intense schedule pressure required new approaches to project management and, indeed, quality control. At a stage that was, at a scale rather, that was just never done before, right? So, where is this now? Again, it was all heavily influenced by political push, mainly between the Soviets and the United. Well, it was the Soviets and the United States, right? So we've more here on the Apollo side. Look. So we have the man's. This is class.
President Pitzer, Mr. Vice President, Governor, Congressman Thomas, Senator Wiley, and Congressman Miller, Mr. Webb, Mr. Bell, scientists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your president having made me an honorary visiting professor.
Now, this goes on for 17 minutes, but effectively that's the famous speech where he says, you know, we go to the moon to do the other thing, you know. But anyway, we choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, because they are hard. As he said, right? Anyway, where do we have it here now? So Apollo 1, the cabin fire killed the entire crew during the pre-launch test. After the first moon landing, sufficient flight hardware remained for 9 follow-on landings with a plan for extended lunar geological and astrophysical exploration. Budget cuts forced the cancellation of 3 of these. 5 of the remaining 6 missions achieved the landings, but Apollo 13 landing was aborted after an oxygen tank exploded en route to the moon. We'll learn more about this when we cover our Houston part of this series, right? But it's just, you know, there's Buzz. I mean, like, Jesus, when you think about it, isn't it absolutely nuts? And then you have the other half of the parish, you know, these are all staged. They were. Sure, that's Jesus. That's Leitrimshire. Zoom out there now. It's just class. The Apollo 7 rover, look. Isn't it deadly? Earthrise, the iconic 1968 image from Apollo 8 taken by William Anders. Man alive. And with Artemis, they took other photos similar. First time that part of the moon was photographed, you know? So in this photo we have George Muller, Werner von Braun and Eberhard Rees watching from the launch firing room. There's von Braun there. Crazy stuff. So the LOR, or the Lunar Orbit
Just to let
Rendezvous.
You know, Moose 420 has joined the group.
The mission. The 3 stages. It just... like physicists, geniuses, mad Egypts, the whole lot. The Lunar Orbit Rendezvous, right? The Apollo, that's grand. Apollo 15. The original, like, that's just nuts. It's crazy. And then the space vehicles. I mean, look at the scale. Little Joe 2, Saturn 1, Saturn 1B, and then the Saturn V. Huge. Massive. was Apollo 7. Here's Apollo 11. Ed White, Gus Grissom, and Roger Chaffee, or Chafee. So Apollo 1, they all perished. Couldn't get the door open. Here's Apollo 11. Neil Armstrong, Mike Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. Neil Armstrong was a civilian. Didn't know that. Or he was classed as a civilian. Whereas the other lads had like extensive military training. Do you know? The mission profile: launch, translunar injection, transposition and docking, extraction, lunar orbit, powered descent, the moonwalk, the ascent, rendezvous, and then Earth or trans-Earth injection, and then landing. The Apollo mission flight plan from 1967 look. Ah, lads. Isn't that something else? Takeoff, separation. Around we go. Launch. Trajectory confirmation. Turnaround. Docking with the command service module. Over to the moon. I mean, we'll just do a copy and paste this for Kerbal, will we? That's friggin' nuts. And then back up away they go again. Man alive. Do we not have an now higher resolution, no? The final approach of Apollo 11.
Manual attitude control is good.
Roger, copy.
Altitude 4,200.
Houston, you're a go for landing, over.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. Stop alarm. 1201. 1201.
Roger, 1201 alarm.
Imagine that, getting alarms on the way down.
Same type, where go?
2,000 feet. 2,000 feet. Into the ag, 47 degrees.
Roger.
37 degrees.
Eagle looking great, your go.
Altitude 1,600.
No, but I think, Malky, before...
1,400 feet, still looking very good.
Before doing Gemini and all that, before joining NASA.
Roger, 1202, we copy it.
35 degrees. 35 degrees. 750, coming down to 23. 700 feet, 21 down. 33 degrees. 100 feet, down at 19. 540 feet, down at 30. Down at 15. At 400 feet, down at 9. Gate forward.
1201s were guidance computer overflow warnings.
33 and a half down.
They'd low fuel then as well. They'd seconds of fuel left.
Take on horizontal velocity. 300 feet down, 3.5. 47 forward. Hold up. On 1.5 down. 70. Got the shadow out there. 50 down at 2.5. 19 forward. Altitude, velocity, light. 3.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely. 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down. 160 feet. 6.5 down. 5.5 down. 9 forward. Good.
That's
20
mad.
feet. 100 feet.
3.5 down, 9 forward. 5%.
5% fuel.
Okay, 75 feet. Car's looking good, down a half. 6 forward. 60 seconds. Lights on.
60 seconds of fuel.
Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. That's 40 feet, down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drift into the right a little. Down a half. 30 seconds. Forward. Good. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. ACA at a descent. Mode control both auto. Descent engine command override off. Engine arm off.
There must have like 20 seconds of fuel left.
Is in. We copy you down, Eagle. Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Isn't that savage? Savage. It's mad. Mad, I say. Armstrong joined NASA Astronaut Corps in the second group, which was selected in 1962. He made his first space flight as a command pilot in Gemini 8, becoming NASA's first civilian. Yeah, I thought that. As in, maybe not a civilian in the proper tense, as in, because he got on, he joined the space program early on, technically becoming he was an astronaut in the Gemini, or what do they call it, the Next 7 or something they called it. Interesting stuff, though. But my understanding was he wasn't. Nuke it with fire. Why are there no stars? Yeah, he almost died during Gemini 8. That's right. Gemini 8, they got into like a spin. They had to do a whole detach thing. Savage. Mr. Big Britches, yes, we got to clean the L windows. Frightening. Now, the Soviet side, I mean, we've been heavily focused on the American side tonight from the engineering and whatnot. However, rocket design philosophy on the Soviet side. The Soviet Union pursued its own moon landing effort with the N1L3 rocket. Designed by Sergei Korolev's bureau, the N1 was almost as tall as the Saturn V, but it used 30 small NK-15 engines clustered in the first stage. The Soviet designers opted for many smaller engines, partly because they lacked a single engine of the F1 scale, and partially to distribute thrust loads. However, clustering so many engines created complex plumbing and vibration issues. Unlike NASA, the Soviets never performed a full static fire test on the N1's first stage. All 4 N1 flight tests between 1969 and 1972 ended in catastrophic failures. There was no full static test firing. Plumbing issues and other adverse characteristics with the large cluster of 30 engines and its complex fuel oxidizer feed system were not revealed earlier, leading to engine shutdowns and explosions. The program also suffered from chronic underfunding, political infighting, and the death of Korolev. By 1974, after 4 failures and little progress, the Soviet leadership cancelled the lunar program. Jesus. So let's have a look at it. So this is the Soviet design. A mock-up at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. We were there. So they had 30 engines down here. Isn't it mad? A static 3D model of it. Okay. Let's see if it'll load. Doesn't want to load. The lunar mission profile. Earth orbit insertion. Translunar injection. Mid-course correction. Yeah, like just... Imagine... Missile Test Center, Kazakhstan in 1968. So they actually had one there. Space booster was there, look. Jesus. Full-scale dynamic test model, facility system. Yeah, man. $105. H1. Like, could you imagine what could have been achieved had they joined forces? Do you know what I mean? It was never going to happen. Very different ideologies, very different politics, but like, do you know, could you imagine? Like, to give you a sense of scale of these, there's a little vehicle down there below, look. And you're looking up on them. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So that was on the Russian side. So while NASA's Saturn V was rigorously tested at facilities like Stennis before the launch, the Soviets lacked the infrastructure for large-scale static tests and rushed through the N1 development. The loss of Korolev, the program's champion, and budget cuts further hindered all of this. Consequently, the USSR never fielded a reliable Saturn-class booster, and then they shifted its focus to space stations and robotic explorations, ceding the moon landing to the United States. So, like, the entire Soviet space program. I mean, look! What? Isn't it friggin' mad when you think about it? It's mad. What was going on one side versus what was going on the other side. Just incredible stuff. And a lot of this, of course, like, this was all secret. None of this got out into friggin' the public domain for years. Sputnik, the Vostok rocket. And, like, they excelled in so many areas, and they were the first in so many areas. The American and Soviet crews of the Apollo Soyuz mission. That's mad. Slayton, Stafford, Brand. Korolev died in January 66 from complications. The first photo of the far side of the moon, Luna 3. Look, Jesus. First photo from the surface of the moon, Luna 9. See, the Russians got a probe on the moon. Surface of Venus. So this was Venera 13. Returned the first color images of the surface of Venus, revealing an orange-brown flat bedrock surface covered with loose regolith and small, flat, thin rocks. Like Venus, lads. Probes and all the jazz. The Vega program in 1984 began and ended with the launch of two crafts, Vega 1 and Vega 2. Both crafts deployed a balloon in addition to a lander. Oh. Program secrecy. Mir in 1996. According to Dominic Phelan in the book Cold War Space Shuttle Sleuths, the USSR was famously described by Winston Churchill as a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. Although the space house literally played out above our heads, it was often obscured by a frigative space curtain that took much effort. It's mad. Vostok 1 capsule. Jesus. Mars 3, the first spacecraft to land on Mars. Like, again, you talk about, like, shifting the friggin' the laws of physics here. The Buran program attempted to produce a class of space planes launched from Energia rockets in response to the US space shuttle. It's identical in so many ways, isn't it? Like, it's identical. The flight we're doing with the shuttle carrier is actually going to recreate what they did in the 80s with the US flying it to the Paris Air Show. It's crazy stuff, lads. Crazy. So, the beginning of future tech. During the mid-1960s, NASA studied fully reusable space planes that would launch like rockets and then return like aeroplanes. These two-stage flyback vehicles were envisaged with wings and rocket engines. Both stages would be manned and land horizontally. However, a NASA history report notes that the concept required a development budget of somewhere between 10 and 13 billion US dollars and encountered opposition because both stages had to re-enter the atmosphere and land, adding to the complexity. Engineers also examined air-breathing engines, but they concluded that pure rockets were more practical for reaching orbit. By 1971, budget pressures forced NASA to pursue a cheaper configuration, and the agency selected a design that used solid rocket boosters, an expandable external fuel tank, and a reusable orbiter. This Class 1 shuttle drew heavily on Saturn technology. Large cryogenic tanks with high-thrust engines informed the shuttle's main engine design. The final choice, approved by President Nixon in 1972, resulted in the Space Shuttle program. And although less ambitious than the fully reusable concept, it provided partial reusability and became the workhorse for the US crewed spaceflight for 3 decades. So it's amazing how fast we moved from the engineering that brought us, you know, Mercury, Gemini, and then Apollo, all the way up to the space shuttle. It's in relatively short amount of 10 years later, right? Less. I mean, the initial design of this, it operated between 1981 and 2011. It was taken from the plans of 1969. The first STS-1, first test flights were in 1981, right? Like 1981. In the late 1930s, oh no, we knew the crack with that. That's the early days. The Apollo space program nearing its design completion, NASA and the Air Force released a joint study concluding a new vehicle was required. And that all leads us into the birth of the space shuttle. Again, we'll cover more on the shuttle in another episode because, well, we're focusing heavily on the space shuttle. Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. Even the launch of the space shuttle, famous photograph taken of the USS Enterprise. They actually brought the crew of the TV show Star Trek there to launch it. Did you ever see them photos? Crazy stuff. Absolute crazy stuff. And what was it that Jim Lovell said? Like, there's nothing routine about going to space, and there is nothing routine about it at all. I mean, they've done it, of course, but the dangers, you know. So where we're heading to now, the Stennis Space Center, Hancock County, Mississippi. It tested every Saturn V first and second stage. Engineers there fired the stages at full power before shipping them over to Florida, which earned the saying, if you're going to the moon, you're going through Hancock County. So about 300 miles to the southwest of the Mississippi Gulf Coast lies NASA's Stennis Space Center. October 1961, the federal government chose rural Hancock County as the site for a static fire test facility for the Apollo launch vehicles. The area offered water access for barges carrying huge rocket stages and also some 13,800 acres of a test facility surrounded by a 125,000 acre acoustic buffer zone. The construction project, Mississippi's largest and second largest in the nation at the time, forced the relocation of several small logging towns but created a modern spaceport. Stennis's primary mission during the 1960s was to static fire the first and second stages of the Saturn V rocket. The first stage were hoisted into a massive B-2 test stand in March 1967. And from 66 to the early 70s, Stennis tested all Saturn V rockets. Its rigorous testing ensured that every Apollo booster, including those that carried the first humans to the moon, performed flawlessly. In 1975, the centre began testing space shuttle main engines, and for 34 years, every shuttle engine was hot-fired on Stennis's stands. Today, Stennis tests the RS-25 engines and core stages for the Space Launch System. It functions as a federal city. It hosts more than 5,000 employees representing NASA and more than 50 contractors, organizations, agencies and companies. Major tenants include the Naval Meteorology and Oceanography Command, Naval Oceanic Office, the National Data Buoy Center and NASA's Shared Services Center, and companies such as L3 Harris, Aerojet Rocketdyne, and its predecessors have all supported the Saturn V Space Shuttle and SLS Artemis testing. Jesus. This concentration of agencies and contractors mean that the site has its own utilities, security force, and community services. It is essentially a self-contained town devoted to propulsion testing, oceanography, information technology, and other research fields. That's bad. And that's where we are now, and the weather is absolutely horrible, you know. So we're going to hang a right here. But I might change the weather, lads, as miserably cloudy as it is. It looks kind of cool. We need to go over and inspect our stuff, right? So let me see, heading mode. And we'll horse ourselves to the right. We're going to pick up this weather here a little bit. There we go, there we go. And let's head over and inspect what we can see, right? It's okay. We just went slightly out of the way. Is it now? There's the bays. So we're just going to spin around to the right here to get a closer look at this place. Flight Simulator 2025, good to see you. Stu says, I've got an envelope from NASA here containing copies of slides, photos, of the Saturn exploration taken from Voyager 2 and accompanying text telling me about each image. What? No way. Really, Stu? That's awesome, man. Just a short circuit in the autopilot. Yeah, that's all. Too bad someone just fired all the scientists from the National Science Board. Uh-oh. Enterprise NX-01, later redesignated USS Enterprise, was the combination of the NX project. Mike, no! Where is it now? Space Shuttle. Here, look. So, Space Shuttle Enterprise. The first orbiter of the Space Shuttle system rolled out in 1976. It was constructed without engines or a functional heat shield, so it wasn't capable of space flight. But look at the picture, look. Gene Roddenberry and the Star Trek cast without friggin' William Shatner. Where was Shatner? I couldn't go to the lot of the shuttle. But with Spock there, look. Brilliant. That's mad, isn't it? That is a great photo, isn't it? You put the photo in the real life. Go, man! Fred Hayes, Gordon, Fullerton. Right, hand there now. Why is the weather gone crap again? Oh, look at that, Stu, man. That's friggin' deadly. Driving past the centre. So here's a couple of pictures. Oh, look, there's the rover. That's mad, Steiny. That's crazy. Lunar and Planetary Institute. Something on the way.
Something on the way. Something.
How did you get them, Stu? Did you just, like, ask them for it? That's crazy, man. Jesus, Murphy, you're making a dog's ear out of this. Will you hang a right there now? Jesus, there's friggin' F-22s and everything coming up the road at us. We've gone past it again, right? They all kind of hate Shatner, did they? They didn't. Shatner was on the wing. That's brilliant. And then now we get ourselves turned around here, lads. Turned around to see what we can see. It is. It's making a right out of me. Alright, Viper, come on now. Jesus then. Gotta say, the L King Air, it's flying really, it's a lovely airplane. They're in your dad's stuff when he passed away. He got some weird and wonderful planetary stuff like Magic Lantern slides. That's crazy. That's awesome, Stu. I've nothing bar like my own stuff space related. As I went to NASA in Houston, and like my son big into like massive into space stuff, like all the Lego stuff, all the Saturn V, the space shuttle, all that gear. It's class. Right. Now, unfortunately, we don't have photogrammetry down here. But we'll ramble down and give it a now look-see all the same, because it's a huge site. This is another massive, massive site. So it's very much... This will depend heavily now on kind of satellite imagery. At least I don't think we have photogrammetry down here. I could be wrong, but I don't think we do. I think it's just kind of satellite stuff. We're also going very fast. Slower down there now. Yeah, there's no photogrammetry, unfortunately. Man, I gotta say that the sim has been an absolute pig again tonight with stutters. I need to go hatch it now and start like deleting stuff and cache files and all this. Anyone else having issues with the sim like this in multiplayer now? Alright, drop the speed down. Did you try taking flow out? Really, Muse? No, they're not in, Winkle. Not in. Alright, so we're getting a bit of an idea of what's here. Man, it's a huge site, isn't it? Oh yeah, much better than last Friday. Oh, heck yeah. Man, this place is massive, isn't it? That's got to be where they test them just there below us. You can see all like fuel lines and bunkers and stuff. No, I think I was watching Chewie earlier. I think his only issue, unless I'm wrong, I thought Chewie's issue was just at landing, though, was it? No. I mean, the sim is running fine, but there's something causing stutters, and like. So much so, see my nameplate or the tail number keeps disappearing? Like there's something not right. Maybe flow? There's something pausing the sim because I can literally see my GPU go from like 90% to 0. It's waiting for the sim to give it work to do. Very strange. And I really hope it's not flow. I've become terribly dependent on flow. But it could be flow. Hashtag blame flow. Oh yeah, it's particularly bad. Old veteran, good to see you, bud. Hope all is well. We had no confusion at the start of the stream tonight whatsoever. No. Muse fan got it into his head that we were starting at the wrong airport or something ridiculous like that. Like that would ever happen. Remind me to delete this stream after, will you? Jesus! Huge site. Massive facility, this one. Am I in clouds or is there someone with smoke? Oh, I'm in the clouds. Get out of the clouds. There we go. We couldn't even clip it because the first 45 minutes was completely clippable. It was a hard owl watch now, lads, I can tell you. It was a hard owl watch. Is riot. Man, it's massive. I did. I kicked Muse there for the bit. It was hilarious. So where Mav is there, like that looks to be the where they tested it. Like, how did they get the stuff down from where it was being built? They just like trucked it in. Cool. A great bunch of lads. Yeah. A great bunch of lads. Yeah, but you kick Cyrus for falling asleep and you call Murph harsh. See? Oh, down the Mississippi, of course. Yes. Your barges and all that, Malky. Yeah. There's Wombat looking at MB339. Looking good, buddy. Jeez, we're absolutely hooning it, look. Easy now. That was accidental, though. Murph's actions were purely intended. Would you go away with that? They weren't. My actions were in direct response to your tomfoolery. You know. Sorry, Wombat. That was a very abrupt right turn. Then they'll take the stuff around to Port Canaveral. Oh, right. So they'd sail it. Is that right? Yeah. Because that's a long old trek as well. Isn't it? Got to be a long old trek now. Right. Let us head over to the airport. Full stop landing coming in. Over to our left. She's a little bit easy to roll, this machine, isn't it? Carinata not having any sort of flight modelling requirement to tweak? I don't believe it. Alright, watch the speed again. Easy. So what I'll do, I'll delete all the cache and rolling cache and all that jazz. Hey, Cyrus T! Good to see you, buddy. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great day. Don't look back at the start of the stream. Whatever you do is all technical messing. And just like that, he's here. Yeah. It's like Mr. Chippy. If you mention them 3 times, they just appear. Mr. Chippy, Mr. Chippy, Mr. Chippy. You know. Lester, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Stennis, November 235 Romeo Mike, inbound full stop runway 36, Stennis. Right. I'm home now. What did I miss? Nothing! Now you have to watch the start. It's all grand, Miss TBHI. We didn't break anything at all. I say they probably transported this by road. Look how straight the road is, look. We couldn't have good long straight roads like that in Ireland. Should we break the speed limit? You find that hard to believe? It's grand. Now tomorrow night we're flying as well, lads. We're going to fly airliners, Bijani, because I want to do that flight I missed last Thursday. So if we have VATSIM, great. If not, we'll use St. Engines. Oh Jesus, that's tomorrow night. Tube-liners? Well, you don't have to fly a tube-liner. I mean, you can fly jets. If you don't take a jet, something fast. Something that can keep up with a tube-liner. That's tomorrow night's flight now. Because usually we do trucking. But an update for American Truck Sim just came out. I haven't had time to get anywhere near it. And I want to catch up on our flight from yesterday. Yeah, take a fighter. Yeah. You can take anything you want. But it's something that would, something that's capable of keeping up with an airliner. So like, the Phenom, not out yet. Soon, hashtag, ! Janie then, couldn't you almost? Soon. Alright, gear. Easy now. Let us ramble. Easy. Watch the power. So next week, oh, there's new DLC out on Thursday. Nice, Malky. Okay. Old veteran, 100%. 100%. I'm trying to think. So our next episode of this next Monday, it's over to Parks in a Huey, but we'll probably do the Huey just for the second part.
Approaching runway 3.
Jesus.
Caution, caution.
Someone has their smoke on. I can't see a thing. You're right to say caution. We can't see the runway. Ah, Jesus. Right. Sorry, Murph. Don't. Oh, God. Don't. Oh, God. Don't panic. We're in the soup. Easy now. Easy now.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Stu! Oh, Jesus. Intubated. 212 feet per minute. We'll take it. I mean, the timing. There's an A400, look. Now debated. Easy now. Who's with all the shack and smoke? Easy now. Jeez, the place is covered in smoke. This isn't a friggin' test site. There goes Angels 1-5, look. Ah, brilliant. There's all the lads. Jeez, you can't be doing that. Jamaican Rambo, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Alright, flaps are in. Yeah, I'll need to do a bit of work in the morning now. Clearing up various caches and settings and things. I hope it's not flow though. It should. Jesus, look at Kladsky. Alright, brakes on. And lights coming off. Engines coming off. And lights coming off. All right. That guy off. Torpedo off. Gen's off. Battery off. There we have it, friends. Well, that was a flight, wasn't it? Very, very interesting stuff. You love just learning the stuff. I love learning it. Absolutely deadly. That was awesome. Beautiful flight from Alabama into Mississippi. We covered some nice ground there tonight. Just need to fix the old stutters now and we're away with it. If this is Stennis, my shirt tail hangs on the ceiling in this FBO. No way, Robert, really? That's awesome. Back up your flow, disable it, and then see. Yeah, is there a way you can back it up from here, no? Hold. Back up everything. A backup was created on your desktop. Right, lovely. Hopefully it's not flow. I'd be very surprised. You're getting straight to bed. I already uninstalled flow and it didn't make a difference with Heisenberg. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'll go with the shader caches and all that jazz, you know. Thank you, MechMancer. Yes, a flawless stream. No jiggery pokery whatsoever. No messing at all. High quality, high production value, and no acting to come. Sure, it's like every other stream, you know. Anyway, lads, I want to thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in and spending your time with me on a Monday. I really appreciate it. And the friggin' headache that we had at the start. At least you can kind of see what goes on in, you know, my head, right? But yeah, I'm loving this series. Next week, as I said, it's I think it's the Parks Observatory. That's where we're heading to. Tomorrow night we're back. We're going to be flying in the Airbus A320. We're going to be flying up to Svalbard. That's a flight I missed last week. Wednesday with the news. Evan is going to join us from FS Expo. We're going to be talking about all things FS Expo. Thursday we have a double header. Hopefully I'll be around Thursday night. There's a small chance I won't be, but I'll keep you up to date. And then Friday night, another group flight. So I'll be over on Discord between now and then. !Discord. It's just where we go to hang out. It's just, Discord is its own little program. You can put it on your phone. Think of it like a forum or like a Facebook or a WhatsApp group kind of mixed in together. It's pretty cool though. It's lots of fun, and we have an amazing community over there who never at all ever once slag me. Brilliant. Right? Fantastic. So anyway, we're back tomorrow, 1900 Zulu time. And if there's any other developments, well, you'll hear from me over on our Discord. So until then, thank you all so very much indeed for watching. Have a lovely evening. See you on the next one. We're doing a thing, right? We're almost supersonic. Well, we're only at 400 knots. That was the most cinematic anticlimax ever. Yeah, but hang on, give it time. There's still, we're doing it. Ah, you're gonna miss the ground, you big ape. Hang on. Bank angle. Just put it in the ground, Murph. Stop showing off. Because it does have crash physics. Watch. This'll surely blow up. All is well in the round. I promise you can make... Oh, there it is! It landed like a dart! And now it's fine again. Yeah, we broke the plane. We absolutely broke the plane. Yes. Right, the last thing I want to... Holy crap. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. We're going in, that's it. There's no turning back at this stage. Jesus, mind the bears. Look at this big eater. Oh no, we're into dying. Quick, get out. Oh no, we're Jesus. Out. Ooh. Armin Addict inbound. Careful now, careful now. Pull up, pull up.